Hey guys, back out here again. Take a look at this beauty. Yeah, isn't that marvelous? Right here in the city park, basically. Yeah, I guess it's still a county, but close enough to the city. Wow. Almost looks magical the way the sun light's coming in on it. See if I can get it. Stand here behind this tree. Isn't that beautiful? That tree that's bent is still alive. People wonder how they make those Indian markers. I think this is how they start the initial bend of the tree, directional towards water, and probably other signs of crossing this creek right here behind us, crossing over from one side to the other. It's really fascinating to see. Almost like two little teepees on each end of it, with the tree crossed over in the middle. My buddy Hank found the structure first, and I had a feeling that this was where it was, but I didn't know for certain until I come out here and discovered it after he first found it. Really cool. Look at that. This is a perfect day to be out filming too. Not a cloud in the sky here. A lot of sticks and limbs piled up on the backside here. Makes you wonder really if like something goes up that bank there. If some of this isn't actually placed in here, what looks to be natural deadfall, because obviously the way the structure is and this pile of sticks here, just enough to weight that arch, that bow. Yeah, I guess we had a sighting here. Me and Janice, we had multiple sightings. Saw the baby Bigfoot run up the embankment right in here. Had some purplish looking, almost like what reminded me of a purple smoke grenade, ran by us right back in there on the other side of that structure area. Kind of like Grimace from McDonald's, the cryptid that used to have like multiple arms and still milkshakes. Milkshake monster. Yeah, someone's been down here drinking them some Red Bull. Our little Red Bull party. Yeah. Could be people down here fishing. Look at that jumbled up, tangled mess there. It's like a little bridge across there. That stretcher is representative of this. I mean, it's just like right there. And the direction of it even. Can't even hardly see it through the woods. There's the arch, and you follow that arch directly across to this log jam, across the creek, over into there. That'd be a good place to look into on the other side, I think. Of course, crossing over would be kind of sketchy, but if you were 10 foot tall, I don't guess it would be. Oh goodness. Yeah, this is an embankment where the baby ran up that path right there. Pretty incredible. The water's down a little bit. Not as deep today. Really beautiful. There's a squirrel across that log. Little squirrel bridge right down there. Right across it. Strange, my eyes can see things better than this phone can. In a greater distance too. When I did my little camo test in the last video, this looks like there's some arches and something right back in there. When I did my last camo test, in my last video, you could see how it really looked like a Bigfoot walking through, like from the video, just because of the way the cameras work and the way the image is picked up on it. It even looked like I partly cloaked at one point, even wearing the camouflage. Yeah, the fall colors down here, and the leaves and the brush, looks a lot like Australia to me. When I've been watching these Yowie videos and Yowie research from these Australian cryptid hunters down there. Those yelps and vocals you might hear in the background, there's actually a dog kennel down there, so those are dogs that are yelping and hollering. Little dog animal clinic. Sound makes it carry further, it sounds like. Sounds like it's further away, but it's actually right here behind us. Yeah. There goes a squirrel. Dang it, I missed him. He's Speedy Gonzales, look at him. Choo! Gone. He's like, you won't catch me on video. That sucker took across that bridge quick. I think I caught him on video that time though. Just barely. Might have to zoom in on it to see him. Just like if you see any Bigfoot on here, you have to about zoom in to catch something. Last time I was out here, it was almost dark, and there was a splash in the water that was like, instead of a kaploosh, like a nut falling from a tree, is like poof, and where it like sunk immediately, hit the water at a high velocity, you know. So that stuff's always interesting to experience. And it was right when I turned around too. Both times it was like there was a rock or something thrown. May have been thrown at a bird flying by. Lots of birds and other things out here. There's actually a wolf's den down this creek. There's a real swampy marsh area down there. I'll throw in some images maybe of it that I took on the way out to the park here. But yeah, this is a location of, I guess, 3 sightings really. I took this girl here. She saw some wolf creature that disappeared. She just described it as being, but there are also actual wolves that are out here. And the wolf's den, which is right down from here, they're actually a red wolf species that's endangered. Couldn't ask for a more beautiful day. This one cryptid, I guess you could say a shapeshifter, it actually appeared to disappear. I mean, I ran right up on it, and it literally turned into this like U-shaped outline, like a thin metal wire, and came up out of the ground and back into the ground, had these like extended fuzzy tassels all around it on the inner edge of it that retracted, and when it did, it all just simultaneously disappeared. But yet I could still hear something in the woods following right behind me, and Janice has on video what looks like something shimmering. That's first time I saw the video I could see it, and then the second time I watched it I couldn't see nothing. Strange how that works, really. I did find this place where they picked up a big rock one night and carried it in front of them like they were using it as a shield or something. This big slab stone, and looky here. Thought that might be a ground stick sign. Now that's in one, a Y and a Y. And another Y. I think that actually is a ground stick, actually. It's stuck pretty deep in the ground. There's that little branch there. It's kind of cool. Yeah, because I really think that's pointing right at that structure, man. It's like right in line, that ground stick with that arch right there, if you can see it. It's hard to see because of the sunlight right here. I'm trying to get a spot of focus where I can show you guys this. This is interesting to me. Here's this opening. Call it right over. It's It's really hard to see on camera. But right there's that supported ground stick. With two wires notched, hooked together. Right there, pointing directly towards this. It's interesting, to say the least. Very interesting. Some of the more subtle signs that you find, I mean, you're going to see other signs you would expect in here. I have found footprints before that were identical to the same markings used up in the Smoky Mountains by Don Peak, another independent Bigfoot researcher who we've shared information before about areas and locations, and they even did a feature on me on their Facebook page, and they said that they don't ever highlight the work of other researchers, but felt like it was, you know, something that they wanted to highlight and compare with their own fascinating research, really, because here in this area to find a footprint that identically matches one with a particular marking, and I don't really want to say what that marking is just because I don't want to give too much information out as far as everything, but how you know when you know, but you know. Yeah, kind of cool stuff, I guess. They definitely knew just from some of the pictures I'd taken and places that I'd been to and researched. Now, it's an interesting little limb sticking up. It looks like it's just from deadfall, but dang, I'd love to find some footprints over on that side of the shore. I'm sure some of these places would make a great crossing point. In fact, I think this is one of them right down in here where they could come across pretty easily. Yeah, that's not too deep. Probably a muddy bottom though, with a creek. A little slow bend. Something down there just made a little ripple in the water. There's all kinds of natural springs in here too. There's, I think, at least 2 locations of bottomless pits in this area. These deep water cenotes, or blue holes we call them. It's really interesting too. The area is called Blue Hole in the association with these cryptids, really. I think a lot of other researchers too have caught on to the idea that they're naturally around water. I mean, that's pretty much a given. Looking for any telltale traces of any footprints on that side, because there's not going to be a whole lot of people walking over on that side, I wouldn't think. That one looks really interesting to me. Can you guys see that? I don't know how well it's showing up on camera, but I mean, I can see it here with my eyes. Something stepped in the mud. Water's really clear. Usually it's real murky, and this is just because it is actually spring-fed creek that's actually a wet water runoff as well. But it stays flowing year-round. There's people that's kayaked down it quite a bit. They've opened it up in places so more people can take advantage and bring some recreation to the area. There's actually a little path right up through there. Right in here, I think, is where I experienced that rock hitting the water, because it was right in this turn that a trail makes, and I just turned, started to walk away. Something threw something, it sounded like. Fascinating, really. I guess I can go up this side of just a little ways along this creek. I do find quite a bit of ground sticks in here, but I've not seen nearly as many as I found before. Same was true in the last area I visited. I didn't find a single ground stick, and that's unusual. You know, if it's just natural deadfall, I mean, my gosh, look at all this deadfall everywhere in here. It's all over the place. You'd expect to find sticks sticking up out of the ground. Ooh, whee! Don't fall in, kapoosh. Yeah, it'd be cool to really catch another sighting out here. You know, that one girl I took out here, I don't know if she wanted to see a Bigfoot or not. I mean, she did, but then again, I guess the reality of something, you know, if something doesn't exist, then why do you go looking for it? Why are all these skeptics making comments on Bigfoot posts about Bigfoot and Bigfoot sites? I think their own curiosity gets the best of the skeptics at times, because like myself, you know, I had to see one to believe it, and even then when I saw it, I still didn't believe it, just because it's so amazing and so unbelievable of a thing, until you have this total paradigm shift moment, this realization that there's only 2 mammal species that have dermal ridges in their feet, and bears aren't one of them. Only humans and other primates. So go figure. That's where my research started, really. It started with me investigating, researching the dermal ridges, and finding out that it was either human or primate. That's where it really began. And of course, I quickly switched to the human side of the discovery of them. I think some are more primal, more of a primate type, even though they consider humans primates. I guess some humans are more animalistic as well. We have feral people here. We have dog men, we've got cat people, we've got bear men. I'd like to show some drawings of one bear man sighting that I had. Maybe make some more sketches or something so people get a better understanding. I think often they're misidentified as dog men, but the dog men are unmistakable. I mean, I've seen a pregnant dog woman, I've seen 2 different dog men, one black, one tan. That's the only colors of those that I've seen. I saw this one kid that looked like one of the indigenous Kuna people from Panama. I mean, his high cheeks and skin tone, complexion, and everything. Here's where one of the springs comes into the creek. Little fish swimming around. Little minas. Yeah, but there's There's a bigger little fish there. It's real hard to see. Blends in with that murky color. There are some actual good sized fish in here. I mean, there's a little bluegill or something swimming by. Well, you can just barely see them in there. That's cool. He's probably waiting on a worm or something to stick its head up. Say, gotcha. Bigfoot gotcha. Yeah. This is a neat area. I mean, there once was a ground stick like right in the middle of this creek, like crossing right over right here. There were some barefoot footprints down in the creek too, which I mean, anything's possible. Could be kids, I guess, or something, but they weren't overly large footprints, but they weren't the size of kids either. They were the size of my boot, really. I wear a size 12. Imagine a 12-inch long footprint down in here. I mean, I guess it's humanly possible. Yeah, here's where the water's coming up out of the underground cave systems, no doubt, really. Cave Creek water. There's those sage orange fruit balls there in the creek. Look at that. You know, that's a natural mosquito and bug insect repellent. I was actually gathering up some walnuts from here, and there was a pile of them, just like they were put there for me, with a little square outline around it of logs. Kind of neat. Here's a spring. It's supposed to be working today. I guess I'll go in here in a few minutes, but yeah, thought I'd kill a little time and come down to the park and it's all some kind of a fungus. Look at that. How bizarre is that? Yeah, here's one of those springs. Look at all the fish in there. Tons of little fry, little minnows and things. Water's bubbling right up out of it. You can see why, like, the indigenous native peoples considered these areas and cenotes as being access mundi points to the underworld and the afterlife. There's someone's fishing string where they actually tried to go fishing in here, it looks like. Yeah, that's kind of funny, really, as shallow as that is. I'd say with the underground filtration and coming through all the layers of sediment and sand and rock, and that water's just crystal clear. Look at that. You see where it's bringing up little bits of sand. Probably gold as well. Like that'd be the place to search for it. Get down in here in the quagmires. Hard to see. But you can see that debris right there as I sink down in this Get on the other side of the sand where you can see it actually pushing up out of the ground right there. Look at that. Watch it. Water's bubbling up, bringing up all that sand. Little bits of stuff. Isn't that cool? It's like a little mound of stuff blowing up. Like an underwater volcano or something. That's really cool. All them fish jumped at the same time. Probably my shadow spooked them. Now there's a second one starting. Yeah, isn't that cool? I mean, here's where you would expect to find ground sticks, you know, if it's all deadfall. There's a stick stuck there in this marshy mess. Look how it's hooked around that other one limb there, propped up. You know, I'd expect a stick to fall and stick itself in the ground here, but yeah. It also makes sense having this fresh water source here. Any kind of human or any intelligence would rather drink from fresh water than a muddy creek. So it's not just that they're near water, but near a fresh water source such as this. Yeah. There's some other ground sticks back in here I've seen before. Well, you guys have a good day. Talk to you soon. I tried stocking this little pond with a bunch of koi fish, and it's kind of funny because they thought the raccoons ate them all. Yeah, every one of them fish got in a hurry out of this little pond here, which is kind of funny. The road's just right up there, and it's a neat little area they tried to build, tried to beautify. A little park, a little pond, little fish for people to stop and look at. Yeah, the raccoons got them all. Alrighty, bye bye. Love you guys for now. We'll make this a quick and short little day trip video. Time to go to work. Gotta earn a living. Don't work, you don't eat, right? Here's where I had picture images one night of them. There used to be a ground stick right at the top of this embankment, and right there's where the rock was that they used as body armor, but I'm not sure that's the same looking rock right here. That one's much different shape and size, but it's where the other one was that they dropped. So wouldn't that be something if there's a place where they put a rock, two different size rocks? It's interesting because when they come up through here cautiously, the only thing I can conclude is they must be doing that to protect themselves from being shot. I mean, if you had a big rock in front of you, there's a squirrel right there in front of that picnic table. hiding in the grass. Even on camera, just a few feet away, it's hard to catch that squirrel. Isn't that something? Squirrel right there, and you can't even hardly see it. Camel squirrel. Eating a walnut. He's going to take his lunch on over there. There's lots of walnuts here. Black walnuts. Alright guys, what a glorious day. Does it get any better than that? How's that for glory? Yeah.